Today we're going to change the blade on the 14-inch Granite Deluxe bandsaw. So we're going to be switching it over, because I do have a lot of resawing to do right now, to a 3/4 inch 3 TPI bimetal blade. Does a wonderful job. First step, as always, unplug. Next, you want to take off the fence, pop up in your cabinets, and pop out the insert. Of course, normally there's a guard in here, but I've removed it because with it in place, you really can't see what's going on with the bearings from this angle. Now drop the blade tension off by loosening off the tensioning arm. I use these tags to mark what my blades are. That way I can remember what the blade is. I've got all the details written down. I'll put this onto the blade once I take it off the machine. With no tension on the blade, it's simply a matter of slipping it off the wheel, being very careful to avoid all the things that can catch on. Potential areas of issue with this machine are here where the door and the fence rail meet, this guard here, and this whole setup underneath the table. So the trick that I've found is to get your blade to about here and then try and get it out from behind the guard. Stop there and then remove it from the bottom end. That should free up the blade enough that you can slide it between the door and the fence rail. Then turn it side on and slide it out the slot. The trick with moving these wider blades through this slot is to put the two sides of the blade parallel to each other and move both hands. That way the blade doesn't twist inside the slot and catch. In the other video, I folded up a 1/4 inch blade, and it's really easy. Something like this 1/2 inch blade, especially because it's a bimetal blade, so it's really stiff, is a lot harder. Keep a really, really tight hold on the blade. If it doesn't slip in your hands, it won't cut you. Wearing gloves will help to stop your hands getting cut, but at the same time, they also make it more difficult to grip and you lose a little bit of dexterity from your fingers. All we do is squeeze it in the center and twist. So with that folded up, I need to go and find some tape. Make sure you've got your tape with you before you take the blade off. With these wide blades, they are really springy, especially the bimetal ones, so you will want to put a little bit more tape on them. Some people open these blades up by throwing them on the floor, but there's a couple of reasons that you don't do that. Firstly, with this particular blade, not only does it not open the blade up, but if you throw it with these teeth down, your concrete floor is going to damage the teeth. The trick is to just unfold it by hand, but be careful, maybe you want to wear gloves, and keep a really good hold on the blade. Hold it parallel in two hands and just slide it through the slot and then turn the blade. The trick with turning it is to move your whole body, not just your hands. And then using two hands, slide it in past the fence rail. As we're fitting a wider blade, one of the tricks is to put all of the bearings back as far as they'll go. It makes it a lot easier to get it in. Once you've got it in to the bearings here, slip it around the top wheel and just hang it there. Make sure that it's inside the top guide bearings and then move to the bottom end. Do the same thing down here. Loosen off your bearings and set them back as far as they'll go. And then slip the blade into the bottom guide bearings and onto the bottom wheel. You're going to want to make sure that the blade goes into both sets of bearings at the same time. If it only goes into one, the fact that it's not in the other will push it back out of the one that it is already engaged in. So with the blade on both the top and the bottom wheels, the next thing to do is to make sure it's in kind of the right position and then tension up your top wheel. Simply tighten the tension arm. Now we need to tension up the blade. The tension adjustment is here, there's an indicator on the back, so you just do this up until it reaches the right tension. And as always, I like to check my blade tension by hand, and this one's okay. So that's it. Put your insert back in, close it up, and you're done. But remember, you need to adjust your blade tracking and your guide and thrust bearings. But those are videos for another day. This, I will put, no, I don't want to say it that way. I'm not Yoda.